Hallo und herzlich willkommen nochmal auf der Jazzahead 2013. We're sitting here with Marc Cary. Marc, thanks for stopping by.
My pleasure. Serendipity.
You just recorded this album, this beautiful solo piano record. I believe it's your first solo piano record, right?
Yes.
For the Love of Abbey. Now you've been with Abbey Lincoln for, is it 12 years?
12 years, yeah. 12 years. But I've known her longer than that, but I actually performed with her for 12 years.
You made a play and think about the things I lost, the things I gave away. And when I'm in a certain mood, I search the halls of love. One night I found these magic words in a magic book. Your love, live your life each and every day.
We were just talking about it because we used to have a TV show, and I think the first time I visited Abbey was in her old apartment on Sugar Hill, and you said you lived right around the corner?
She lived in 940 and I lived in 930. So yeah, it's right there, and she lived right next door to Arthur Taylor, who I was playing with at the time.
That was kind of the connection, wasn't it?
That was the connection. That was
Taylor's Wailers.
Taylor's Wailers, yeah, man. That was amazing because every time we'd finish a rehearsal, and he rehearsed, 2 or 3 times a week. Every time we'd finish, I'd be the one to hang. The rest of the guys would leave because I was very close to A.T. He was like a father in a way. He took care of my kids. He opened my son's first bank account. And, he was very involved in my family, and he came to my wedding, which I had at my house, But every time we'd finish the rehearsal, she'd come next door because she'd be listening, And as soon as we finished, she'd knock on the door and she'd come and say, one day you're gonna play with me. I really like the way you play. And A.T. would be like, yeah, but that's way after he plays with me. They were kind of fighting her. And then sure enough, Arthur Taylor, unfortunately, made this transition, and when that happened, Abbey was like, you're coming with me. So, to hear somebody say that you will do something and then it happens, she was that kind of person,
Exactly. Yeah. She was that kind of person. I mean, when I read that little quote, you can never lose a thing if it belongs to you.
Yeah.
Hallo und herzlich willkommen bei Soja. That was my German intro.
Yes!
Welcome to the show, Abbey Lincoln.
Thank you.
I'm just so happy we could be here in your apartment. You let us into your world. We are in another world, as it says back there.
And that takes me so many places.
Yes, it really does.
And it really also does that with the playing. I was talking to somebody early on who said, but how can you do, with Abbey, it's so much about the lyrics. And I said, but you hear the lyrics.
You hear the lyrics, yeah. But see, I really, this album I did this specifically like this because Abbey's music was so personal, and I couldn't imagine. There's a lot of great singers, and I'm actually performing with 4 of them on the May 9th and 10th. I'm doing a tribute to Abbey at the Harlem stage. But to record it, I really wanted to be uninhibited by someone's interpretation of Abbey's lyrics, because I know the lyrics. And, I know them, I know what they mean to me, and I have a great understanding of what they meant to her, and I was able to, I feel, translate that through the instrumental.
Love for sale, appetizing young love for sale.
And her music, her compositions are so powerful that I think they were overlooked because of the lyric. The lyrics are always so intense in her music that the music becomes kind of, secondary. And her compositions are just as important as the lyric. So I really wanted to show her you know, ability to compose as great as she did, and I didn't think people really got it. So that was my mission, you know.
Did it take you like a minute to start playing the melody too?
Yeah, well, no, I would learn all her songs from her at the piano.
All right.
So when she started writing, I would go to her house and sit right next to her, and because she played very simply, but that's how she heard. So I really wanted to get inside of what she was hearing from the piano.
This is the piano that I learned to experiment with. And I never did learn to play it, you know. I play composer's piano, it's true. I can't run up and down it like some people do.
Oh, I saw that picture, and who used to dance where all of them are standing behind you, like...
Yeah.
When you sit down at the piano. It looks like either you're playing something wonderful,
I'm playing the song.
Or you playing something that they don't know how to
No, I'm playing the song and the changes and the melody, and it's halting.
Of course, it's something wonderful.
Yeah, well, I know the song better than anybody because I wrote it, and you have to know how to record what you write. You know, I write on the paper changes, the melody line, and the bar lines.
You know, because, you know, I play with Betty Carter, which is a whole different, you know, it's a whole other thing as a pianist, you know. It really, she makes you do everything you can possibly do as a pianist. Abbey did not demand that. In fact, she wanted the same energy, but within a chord. Like, give me all of that in one chord. And so I had to really adjust my thinking as a pianist. For one, I did not think as a pianist, but just think as someone involved with this music, you know. I just happen to be sitting at the piano, but how do I involve myself and give her what she needs to tell the story? Because that was the most important thing for her. The music it's pretty secondary. Although it was just as important,
right,
the story was the thing that she was trying to push. So the music, in some ways, could suffer.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it could suffer. I mean, you didn't have to be on your greatest. I mean, it's funny. I'm not saying that she didn't want you to be, you know, virtuosic, you know, but it wasn't demanding. It was only when it was needed. You had to be right. That's it. Yeah, it basically what Monk said. He said, if it doesn't fit, then don't play it. You know, it's simple. You know, even if it's some really hot shit. Like, you know, she didn't like alternate chords and all that stuff. She didn't like all that. She was like the basic stuff. And then she could do all this other things over top of that, which that gave me a great appreciation for simplicity, you know.
Bing Crosby sang it. Ike Quebec played it. And Yip Harburg wrote it. I built a railroad, made it run, made it race against time. Once I built a railroad, now it's done. Brother, can you spare a dime?
And it's that simplicity with a lot of depth to it.
Exactly.
I mean,
because if you have two simple things and you put them together, you have a complex thing. But you have to have the simple things first, you know? So it really helped me to appreciate simplicity and complexity, you know? Yeah.
It's the title to me. I mean, Abbey was about love.
Yes.
She was love in a way.
She was all love, man. And in fact, all of her lyrics show how much she loved people, you know, at large. It wasn't about the black community. It wasn't about anything specific. It was people. She loved human beings. She loved, and she wanted unity, you know. She was very disturbed politically by all this stuff going on and all the different things that were happening, the atrocities, like those actually, I would see her weep, you know. I mean, I would hate to see her watch CNN, like if before a show and she watched CNN and some crazy stuff happened, she would internalize this. you know, and hence the song Down Here Below and Throw It Away. Like those songs,
The world is falling down.
The world is falling down. Oh man, you know, these things were always at the tip of her tongue. They weren't just a song that came up when it was time to play. This was actually the content of her lyrics were the content of her conversation. You know, she lived this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, people that knew Abbey knew this. And a lot of people didn't understand her complexity, you know, because they didn't get a chance to hang out with her, you know. But they saw the brilliance because she's incredible. And as a storyteller, even if you saw her from the outside, you had a perspective on her that was unique. Yeah. You know, but if you got to meet her, it's a whole different thing, man, you know.
Is there a picture of Roach somewhere around here?
No. I painted it. Well, because
I thought there was one in the last apartment.
I painted them when I lived on Central Parkway. I painted them in California, and I gave it to some friends in Japan, Nakadaira. They named their child for me. Her name is, I forgot. Lord have mercy, how could I do it? Lika is her name, for Lincoln Abbey, right? And I gave it to Nakadaira to take to Japan because I was mad at Roach. And anyway, I don't want him around. It's the truth. Yeah, we're divorced. It's hard to have a friendship when you're divorced.
Don't tell me that. I'm not divorced yet.
Yeah, well, hopefully you won't be. I like polygamy, then you don't have to divorce anybody.
I didn't say that.
I did.
Well, I have to tell you, I remember the first time I met her, which was up there, you know, on Sugar Hill. Yeah. And I was living in New York with my wife back then, and she was like, oh, so you're doing an interview with a singer? So I'm like, yeah, but, you know, she's brilliant, but she's 60-something years old. Nothing to worry about.
Worries. Yeah.
When I came back, she saw this look in my eyes. She was like, 60 what years old?
Yeah,
Show me a picture.
No.
I was like, no.
Yeah, she could do that to any man.
I was in love.
Yeah.
I was so in love with Abbey.
She could do that to any man. Every man that I saw that embraced Abbey was just like, you know, and even heartbroken at times because she was so real.
Yeah.
You know, and she could change like that, you know. So just as lovely as she could be, she could flip it, you know, and show you the other side. She's, you know, Leo, so. Yeah, man.
We should take a minute to talk about some of the other things you're doing because there's another Focus Trio record in the works, right? Yep. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Focus Trio, this is like our 10th anniversary as well, even though it's Motame's 10th anniversary. The Focus Trio, actually, this is 12 years. Now, we didn't even get to do the 10-year thing, but we started in 2000, and we've put out, this will be the 4th record. We did 2006 release, Focus Trio, 2008, 2009, and then, then this. So it's four records, actually. And this one is very significant because it celebrates our 10 years together, and you can hear and feel, to me, the unity in us. You know, I had 2 bass players on this record. Rashawn Carter, whose father gave me my first gig. Yeah, when I met Rashawn when he was a baby. And his daddy used to say I was too young to actually do these gigs, but he would pick me up with permission from my parents and take me to the gig and take me home. But Rashawn would be in the back seat, you know, in the baby carriage and stuff. So he's playing with me now, and the wonderful Bernice Travis is also on bass because it's hard to have one bass player these days because you know, they're all over the place. So I really wanted to present the guys that are at the core of my music. So you might see Rashawn, you might see Bernice, and you might see both. Yeah. Wow. But the new record is called 4 Directions.
All right.
And it celebrates, you know, the 4 directions.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking the time out.
Appreciate it. Yes, sir.